What's going on, guys? Fearmaky here, bringing you another video. This time we're going to be showcasing the Nomad. Alright, Nomad, pretty fun class. This used to be the prime time class back in season 10 for speed farming with Sandstorm covering the whole screen. Obviously that was nerfed and fixed for season 11. It's no longer a thing, but I'll tell you what, we have a new build with the Nomad, and we're calling it Undying Sand King. It's an amazing build, amazing class. You can see we're rolling with 7 dodge stacks, 5 block stacks, pretty much unkillable. And the moment you drop to 1 dodge stack, just back up, wait for it to regen, and get back in the game. You can see the stacks go right back up pretty quickly. The reason for that is we're running with 115% dodge chance. You heard that correctly. 115% dodge chance. In addition to that, we're running with 82% crit chance, 224% crit damage, which allows us to actually clear the wormhole 500 and dish out the damage that we're dealing. The Nomad clear on the 500 wasn't that bad compared to some other classes and tests. Definitely viable, but when it comes to the boss skill, it's a little lacking. Supposedly, not supposedly, from speaking with Wooksy, this is where he wants the game to be, relative to the damage range at 200 million to 400 million damage range on classes that are maxed out, around 200 hero level. So obviously majority of the classes this season is doing a lot more damage than than intended. It's not broken, but he definitely wants to dial things back down a little bit. That way they're more reasonable, and hopefully it's for in preparation for all the plans they have for season 12 and the wormholes, etc. Hopefully that's the reason why, and I'm okay with that. I said it before in a couple of videos. Having a class do insane damage, it only hurts you guys in the long run, because believe me, when you're up to wormhole 1,000, as I said before, or 5,000 and 10,000, that's crazy. I mean, you have to be a masochist to be doing that. And increasing your damage by a lot on your character and your build, that's exactly what it's going to do, until they adjust and edit the wormhole end game, which I hope they do for season 12. They have a lot of plans in place, and hopefully they do change it. Don't get me wrong, wormholes are fun, but once you get to 1,000 of them plus, it's the same thing over and over and over again, and you pretty much scale infinitely in strength, right? So there's pretty much no new gameplay. But to get to that point, though, in Herosiege's defense, you have a long ways to go. I mean, to min-max your gear, to get the best slot in gear, to get them all 10 out of 10 at 115% quality, there is huge replayability in that aspect of the game to grind out before you even decide to climb high wormholes. And you can climb them before that, obviously, but you're going to be hitting the ceiling pretty quickly unless you have maxed out gear. But once you do have them maxed out and you start to put in hero levels, then things start to change. This right here, we're doing Uber Damien. You can see how quickly we demolish him, as with all other classes as well. But as soon as we finish this here, we're going to get into the gear setup and skills for the Nomad, the Undying Sand King. Alright guys, let's dive into the meta of the Nomad. So on your action bar, you want to use Demolishing Tornado. This is just a filler damage. You want to use Wind Slash, again just a filler. Sun Tremors, majority of your damage will come from this, not all of it though. And then Flying Scimitar. This is the bulk of your damage that you're spamming, as well as your auto attacks. For gear, we went with the Pendant of Eternity. This is best in slot. 21% cooldown reduction, 5% damage reduction, 6% strength from the runes, the Ox runes, 3,500 to all stats, plus 4 to all talents, 140% elemental damage, 7,600 elemental damage. If you notice, I did not up the quality to 115. because of the auction house and the pricing on these necks now, there's just ridiculous. So I made it reasonable to an extent where if you're able to get one, you don't have to dice it to 115 to actually see the true potential. Obviously, if you get it to 115, you will get 5 talents and do slightly more damage. It's not worth the risk, though, to brick it. For the helm, we went with the wind bandana. 5,300 stam, 6% strength from the ox runes, 10,000 wind damage, 40% attack speed. But mainly it was for the 10% crit rate, 21% crit damage. We're stacking crit rate and crit damage on this class. For the charm, the Havoc yielded the best damage. 11% wind damage. With the not the runes, but the actually, yeah, obviously it's not the runes because it's a rune word. I'm sorry. You have 11% wind damage inherently in it, and then 24%, 2400 wind damage from the proc. Because it can roll any element, and then we went with the 7% crit rate, crit damage. The main reason why I went Havoc is for the 7% crit rate, 30% crit damage. Okay, that's the reason why. For the weapon, we went with the Shadow Carver. It's the best in slot, all across the board. 35% dodge chance is huge. 9% strength, 35 attack speed, 7,000 all stats, plus 2 to all talents. 281% elemental damage, which will apply to wind, and 26,000, almost 27,000 elemental damage that applies to wind, as well as 5% life on hit. Soul Skull just spawns skulls around you, I believe. Really not that important. And if you notice, I also kept the quality at 100% to be reasonable. You can always re-roll tokens on it to get to 100. You don't have to dice it to 115 to reach the damage potential. On the chest, we went with the Dark Shroud, the best damage for the chest for this class. 15,000 strength, mainly because of 16% crit rate, 28% crit damage, and filled it with ox runes for the strength. On the gloves, we went with the Assassin's Mitts, again for the crit rate, crit damage, filled it with ox runes. The belt, the Commander Sash, for the crit rate, crit damage, maxed it out with ox runes, strength runes. For the ring, the Demon Eye ring, for the life on hit with the weapon, that's 10% life on hit. I did put a Vaughn rune here, a 2% cooldown reduction, so that way we could have 100% uptime on tremors. On the bottle of sake, I also mixed up the runes. I went with a dodge rune to max out the dodge. And then I put a cooldown reduction rune there as well to have the max cooldown, to have the 100% uptime on tremors. I don't really think it's necessary though, but that's what I did. On the boots, I went with the ox rune and all the sockets. Main reason again with the Assassin Shadow boots is for the 10% crit rate, 28% crit damage. Massive. On your follower, the staple, Poison Ivy, Helmet of the Dominator, Shroud of Elements to stack Elemental Break as fast as possible. For relics, we went with these. Strength, attack speed relics. And for the hero level, put 50 in ancient power, 50 in crit damage, 50 in attack speed, and then the rest into strength. Honestly, you could probably take the 50 from attack speed and put it into strength and you won't notice a difference. In the test, it did yield slightly more damage, but I wasn't even going for any attack breakpoints at all. Okay, but you can dump it into strength if you want. And then for the Mercenary, 30 into multi-shot, 30 rapid fire, 30 piercing shot, 30 scatter shot. Now, for the talents, the bulk of the build is auto attacks along with the flying scimitars. So we maxed out scimitar I maxed out Eye of Ra for trash clear during the wormhole. So this is procs AoE, just dealing free damage to the trash in the wormhole, allowing you to clear pretty efficiently. Then I maxed out Wind Armor for the increased movement speed, dodge chance. And then we put the, we maxed out Sand Tremors as well for free damage when we pop it. And then we put the rest of the points in Demolition Tornado. There's no need to get Sandstorm, no need to get Vanish, or to get Wind Blades. And dumping more points into Phantom Blades did not yield any more damage at all. Okay. Same thing with the body double. Maxing this out did not yield any more damage. This right here, I could not figure out how this works to gain additional dodge and a weapon to throw. I think it's just broken. It doesn't work. I equipped it a scimitar. Maybe I need to go into Wind Blades, which not worth at all. Like, this talent here needs to be reworked for season 12, completely redone. Popping this and attacking, nothing happens. Nothing goes on the screen. There's like a slight wind blade that attacks the target. It's a complete waste. This talent needs to be reworked and redone completely for season 12. It has no weight to it, no feeling. It does nothing. 0 damage. Also on the dummy. Okay, so this needs to definitely be reworked. I think, in my opinion, the Nomad this time around for season 11. I know it was prime time in season 10 for speed farming. You know, and every class should have a speed farming build, but the Nomad is C tier, like bottom of C tier when it comes to DPS and all that. It's a really cool class to farm Inferno 5 with if you want, but if you want to, you know, rank up in wormholes and do in-game content and dish out huge damage and burst damage, Nomad right now is definitely not in a good spot, if you ask me, compared to the other classes. Anyways, that's it for the gear. The positive thing about this spec is that you have 82% crit chance, 224% crit damage, and 115% dodge chance. Your dodge caps out at 100%, obviously, but then the excess dodge turns into stacks. You're pretty much unkillable with this build if you know how to play it. Just like the Plague Doctor as well as the Shaman. So here, as you can see, I have 9 dodge stacks, but really it's supposed to be 7. I was using a build variant and the dodge stacks went up to 9, but once you do a restart the game, you go right back down to 7. I will show you a build variant here later that's going to put the dodge stacks at 9. So wait for that. So use this to your advantage. Yeah, and this is a unkillable Nomad build. And I'll show you a build variant and you can see something even crazier. Alright, so a build variant that's pretty crazy is Sand Crusader Scimitar along with the Wind Crescent. You have 57% dodge in the shield. And then look at what happens on the character sheet. 134% dodge. This is really overkill, not necessary. The 115% was enough. But the reason why I'm showing you this build variant is so you can see the damage on the dummy. And then I'll just go through other build variants quick to show you the gear. And at the end I'll show you the meta build damage test. I won't test every class with DPS, that way the video doesn't drag on, but I'll give you some other options. So 127 million. So you could use Sand Scimitar to start out with. You could use Nomad Slicer. The Wind Guardian Gladius you can also use. Ravager, do not use it. I tested the Steve Stickman set, not worth it. The Gladiator Skull Crusher is also a decent option to start out Inferno with and farming. It'll deal about 150, I think, to 160 million damage. So if you're able to get one of these cheap on the auction house, use it. You can also use, you know, the Rift Stalker with Wind, the Rift Commander's Axe with Wind. So you have all these options for weapons. Okay. On the neck, you can use High Demon's Necklace, Ravenclaw. You can use Nomad Sand Bandana, a Harlequin Crest with wind on it. Even the Lightforge Helm is really good as well, but doesn't yield more damage than the Wind Bandana, as well as it doesn't give you dodge. But it will yield very good damage because of the crit. For the charm, you can use Hello, It's Me, Steve, Wind Token, Torch of Shadows, Rainbow, all works. Chest, Devil Cocoon, King Scarab, Nomad, Battle Robe, all work. Enigmatic, not good at all. For shield, you have Blood Word. You can use that. You can use the Shadow Buckler for more attack speed and dodge if you want. Mirage, not worth it. I tested it. Not worth it at all. You can use the Sand Tribe Gloves starting out. Nomad, Sand Mitts. The set bonus for the Nomad, not really worth it. I tested it out. You can also use Breach Gauntlets. Okay, if you happen to have one on another class and you roll, Nomad as an alt, you can always use that. The belts, the usual, you can use Tribal Belt, Belt of Skulls, Monkey Skin. For rings, you can use Razband, the Giant's Band of Strength, which gives you oversized naturally. You can also use that. And the bottle, you can use any potion you want, really. Bottle of Sake obviously is meta, but you can use any potion. And then boots, if you don't have Assassin Shadow boots or they're too expensive, you can use the Moss Wrath and Marchers. Alrighty, and that's it for build variants. I will show you guys now the damage test on the meta and leave you with that. Well, there you have it, guys. This is the Nomad right here, damage test. I told you guys I was going to show you. The most I got was 217 million. That's the highest proc. Anyways, I'm leaving you with that one. This one is called Undying Sand King meta build for the Nomad. Thank you very much, guys, for watching the video. I appreciate it. Please don't forget to comment, like, smash that subscribe button. Please check me out on Twitch. I appreciate all you guys' support. I love talking to you guys and providing, live feedback on the stream when you guys stop by. I appreciate everything, guys. Take care. Roll deep.